Hello, welcome. This is Sports This Morning. We're reaching you live from Channels TV, Sports Center in Lagos, Nigeria. Glad to have you join us. I'm Austin Okonakwan.
A very good morning to you from wherever you're watching us today. It feels good to be here. I'm Yemi Adebayo.
Okay, let's get on with the show now. We'll continue with our catching up series this morning on the program. Who do we have on the show? That man with the feast, Africa's top table tennis player, Aruna Quadri, will be speaking to us from his base in Lisbon, Portugal. We just want to know how Quadri is holding on in this difficult COVID-19 period.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to hear him talk about the effect of the lockdown and, of course, how sports is doing during this period. Okay, we move on the show. Also, we talk about the Confederation of African Football, CAF, has announced major changes to the continent's football schedule in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. And of course, it starts with shifting the 2021 African Cup of Nations from 2021 to 2022. That's one of the changes. Other changes as well, but just to bring that out for you, AFCON 2021, now AFCON 2022. Same way we have Tokyo 2020, now Tokyo 2021.
What a world it is this period, but it's okay. We will survive this, we'll beat this, and then we'll get our lives back. But the good thing is we're going to have the AFCON in 2022. Also on the show this morning, Manchester United fans getting here. What's going on with your team and this beautiful run? 15-game unbeaten run for Manchester United. They love it. I mean, we were wondering if they could do the business against Brighton. They made it a job so easy.
Yeah, made it look so easy. And Manchester United fans starting to believe the UEFA Champions League spot looking now in touching distance, and we'll see what happens. Just a few games to go. Like I said yesterday, Manchester United now seems rejuvenated. But that's not how we're starting the show today. We're starting with boxing, and we're going to start. We're going to talk about two things that come out of the boxing world. We'll start with the big baby, Jarrell Miller, is who we're talking about this morning. And later on, we'll talk about Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury and what the WBC has to say. But Austin, let's start with the big baby.
Yeah.
A lot of people are saying a lot of uncomplimentary things about the big baby. And WBC has come out to say, look, one of the reasons we don't have anything to do with this guy is because he didn't sign up for the drug testing program set up by the body to monitor whether or not, so you don't have all this issue of he tested positive, no, I hate contaminated meat, this is what happened. And they say, look, that's why we just didn't have anything to do and we expelled him, and he's not been on our radar at all.
That's what it is. And we said the same thing about the American athletes the other day. Rules are rules, standards are standards, particularly if you are a role model out there. So the WBC came out to, set the record straight that this guy has been expelled for not enrolling in the governing body's drug testing program. It's as simple as that. And I mean, when you start acting that way, we said it that you're trying to invite persons to look into you. When he failed that drug test for Anthony Joshua's fight, so can we get a closer look at this guy again? I think he failed his second test. Yeah. So that's what it is. Jarrell Miller, the WBC said, look, we're setting a record straight. This guy has been removed from a scheduled Las Vegas fight against Jerry Forrest in July after reports of a failed drug test. With the co-promoters Top Rank, they confirmed that Miller would be placed on temporary suspension. And it is what it is. Is it fair? Yeah, rules are rules. And if you're not clean, then you face the music.
And it's that bad. Even the WBC president, Sulaiman, has refused to confirm whether or not Jarrell Miller will probably get a chance to still be on their radar, and a lot of this. But let's see. This is some of the comments from Mauricio Sulaiman, the WBC president. He says, what I can say is that he's been out of the WBC picture for 3 years because we did not consider him to be eligible for the rankings because he did not enroll in the clean boxing program. So he says, look, he's been off our radar. That's why you don't see him on the ranking. When he was first ranked, we sent them the documents, and he had 3 months to fill 3 pieces of paper, and he failed to do so. Then somehow they claimed they didn't have the papers. So we rang him again and sent him the paper, and he didn't submit twice. So he has been expelled from the WBC for 3 years. It's not something that just happened. That's why it's not been in the picture. That's WBC President Solomon making it clear, especially when the news of him failing, I think in his history, I think that's about the fourth test. A lot of people saying things about him that are not complimentary. Because look, why would you do all of this? Why would you deliberately? I mean, we've had funny excuses in sports, like somebody telling us, "I didn't see the email." But now it wasn't a matter of not seeing the email. You got a phone call, fill 3 sheets of paper, and you still didn't do it. And I agree with you, Austin. If you begin to do things like this, you are inviting scrutiny.
Straight up.
You're making people think.
Yeah.
What are you trying to avoid?
And
Why don't you want to sign up?
That's what it is. And fans of Anthony Joshua, they're not pleased with the big baby. Remember, because he was supposed to fight Anthony Joshua before he tested positive.
And they had to go to
suspended. And that was why we jumped on Ruiz. And Ruiz created arguably the biggest magic. So fans of Anthony Joshua are saying that, look, baby, big baby, you've been going on for too long with this. And the WBC, they said, look, he's not going to be ranked, despite his unbeaten record. He will not be ranked. He needs to face the music, and the WBC president has come out to set the record straight because, you know, in times like this, boxing is becoming fun. It's gradually looking like the British versus Americans. So anything goes wrong and somebody jumps and says, because he's an American. No, they said this guy did not do the right thing, and that's why we are putting him in his place.
All right, so just to set the record straight, clear up the controversy. In boxing these days, too, a lot of controversies flying around. So the big baby, I personally, I don't know about you, I look forward to that fight between him and Anthony Joshua because I looked at him, his size and everything. A lot could have happened. I don't know why he wants to throw away a promising career. I don't know. Because if other boxing bodies, organizations take this kind of step and not put him in reckoning. Because we know in boxing, it's not just about how good you are.
That's what it is.
When you are affiliated to these bodies, you have to have a positive image.
When words came out about Dillian White and his credibility, he presented himself because it's not just about you. It's about you, your promoters, and everybody around you that supports you, the officials of the sport. Everything is involved. And when we're saying we want clean sports, we actually do want clean sports. So that's what it is with Jarrett Miller, the WBC. They've come out to clear the talks that, look, this guy did not show up for mandatory drug testing, and that is why we're putting him where he is. So we will just pause the conversation right now and go to Lisbon in Portugal. I mean, let's do the catching up series before we go. I'll talk about Desire Paranos is signing for Dion. Let's go to Lisbon in Portugal. Africa's top, Africa's #1 table tennis player. Quadri Aruna joins us live this morning on the show. Quadri, good to have you on Sports this morning.
Good morning. Thank you very much for having me.
Awesome. We've been looking for you everywhere. I was like, where's the champ? Where's the champ? Let's catch up. Let's know what's going on with you. It's COVID-19 and it has done a lot of disruption to sports worldwide. How have you been surviving in these times?
I've been doing very good and fine. I'm giving thanks to God that everyone is safe in my family. And for the last 3.5 months, it has been very hard and difficult times for everyone. We have nothing to do than to be keeping safe, taking to the normal instructions and regulations. And hopefully, we are looking forward to be back in the sport again. In the next 3 days, we'll be playing in Portuguese League final.
That's good. And Quadri, I always ask your other sports personalities. Table tennis was competitive, and I think you are already jumping into a fantastic 2020 before COVID-19 paused everything. When we get back to table tennis, will it be as competitive as it used to be before COVID-19 came?
Hopefully, by God's grace, I will be as competitive just like before. I am practicing very well. I started practicing already since day 1 of last month, and it's been 1 month of practicing already. So I'm looking forward to be back in the game. And in the next 3 days, we'll be testing ourselves with the Portuguese League final, which will be my last match for Sporting Club here in Portugal.
I know, and you've had a fantastic time right there in Portugal. You'll be going to the Bundesliga, and I must say, I've been following table tennis in Germany. It's really, really tough. How ready are you for that challenge?
I think table tennis in Germany is of the highest level. I think the most difficult league in Europe. Of course, I'm up to the task. I'm always preparing. I'm preparing very well. Don't forget, I played in French league three years ago, and I did very well. I had almost 70% in my matches. I mean, I won 70%, and I lost about 30%. So the level in France is almost the same thing in Germany. So I'm looking forward to have a better outing in Germany than the high that I had in France.
Tell me about this club. Let me try. Ransprodel Fulda Brazil. Is that what it is? What do you know about this club? How did they approach you? How did the deal go down?
This is a very good club. A club that really do not give any kind of pressure on their athletes. They've been existing more than 3 decades, and they have always been playing in first Bundesliga league. Is a very serious club. And I got this club through my new sponsor, Geo from Germany. Since I joined Geo 1 year ago, they have been making all the moves that I have to be playing in Bundesliga because of the marketing issue they have. So it is very, very important for my sponsor to start playing in Germany. And this is one of the reasons I have to go to German league.
Sounds good. So everything will just be right there for you in sync. Quadri, let's talk about your aspirations for the Tokyo Olympics. At the qualifiers, injury did not let you go further. What's the update? We knew that the ITTF, they were saying that your ranking can give you a spot at the Olympics. What are they saying to you now?
For now, I'm number 2 in the World of Olympic Games ranking, and this means that 99% I am already in the Olympic Games, but my name is not yet there because about 13 positions will be decided through world ranking, and presently I'm number 2 out of these 13 positions. So the chances are so high. I think I'm in Tokyo Olympic Games already. The list is not yet out. So in the end of the qualification series, okay, I have to play one more qualification in Qatar. The date is yet to be decided. And immediately after this, the list will be out. Of course, I'm looking forward to qualify through the qualification. But of course, even without the qualification, I will be in Olympic Games with my world ranking.
That sounds good. That's reassuring. A lot of Nigerian and African fans will be looking forward to seeing their best players at the Olympics. And the Olympics is serious business. I remember I spoke to you at Rio 2016 Olympics. You had big dreams. You actually did so well at the Olympics. Do you have bigger goals for Tokyo Olympics?
For any athlete in the world, the objective is always the same. You know, everyone wants to win. It's not always going to be very easy, but of course, with determination, self-confidence, and God on your side, nothing is actually impossible. So it is even more possible to do much more better than before, but it's really not going to be easy.
And it requires a lot of hard work. Let's bring it back home now. We spoke to Taiwo Mati the other day. He's doing so well with his table tennis. He's in Portugal also. And he mentioned Aruna Quadri as a model. What is Aruna Quadri doing to ensure that we get more Quadris come out of the system and take table tennis in Nigeria to the next level?
Mate has been here for about 5 months now, and he has been practicing with our club. I mean, the main team, the first division team here in Sporting Club de Portugal, my team. So he has been practicing with us, and he's really improving very well. Hopefully, in the end of this pandemic, we'll be able to see what he's really capable of. But there is no doubt he has the talents, and we are looking forward that he will be a much more better player than some of the African players.
But what you've seen in the local scene, do we have more players up to the quality of Marty? What can we do to develop more young table tennis players?
We have a lot of them in Nigeria. You know, we have several talents in Nigeria, but the problem is always financial aspect of it. You know, more youth developmental program must be staged. They have been playing tournaments regularly, locally and internationally, and this has to do with a lot of money. I think table tennis really needs some funding from federal government, individuals, and different companies. I mean, sponsors. So if sponsors can come on board, I think we'll be able to see better talent than Aruna, Quadri, and other past table tennis players in Africa.
Aruna Quadri, we must say thank you so much for your time with us this morning. Stay safe out there. Keep winning. We're super proud of you. Thank you.
Thank you also. It's my pleasure.
Okay, so that's it. Africa's #1 table tennis player, Nigeria's Aruna Quadri. Sounds so good saying that. I mean, it's quite a number of things, particularly that nothing has changed with his goals for the Olympics.
I mean, nothing has changed. There might be the delay because of COVID-19, but of course, before COVID-19 came, he obviously had, dreams, aspirations, and if what he did at the last Olympics is anything to go by, we should expect big things from Aruna Quadri. And I like the last line you dropped on him. We're super proud of him, all of us. He's carrying a lot of weight on his shoulders, and hopefully it won't crumble. Hopefully he will be able to go far, maybe by, I don't know, maybe by a stroke of luck or an act of God. Maybe he might just be able to get us a medal at the Tokyo 2020 Olympics.
But it's just something about Quadri, and why he just keeps going and going. He's ranked 20th in the world, #1 in Africa for a very long time now, and a good example, a good model for the development of table tennis in Nigeria. He mentioned finance, which is a big problem, funding, that if we put more money into table tennis in Nigeria, we'll discover more Arunas.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's a story you can be proud of, one of us. I mean, this is not the kind of stories of, we saw him in the United States, he's of Nigerian descent, we picked him up. No, this is somebody we watched grow. This is somebody we saw through the ranks, pass through all the hurdles, odds stacked up against him. But you have him among the best, 20th in the world, and sometimes it still looks like a dream, but we're happy to have somebody like this. We're happy to be able to say that of the top 20 best players in the world, one of our own is there. And on his day, beats the best in the world.
Shout out to Aruna Quadri, shout out to everyone. Because from the time of Aton the Musa, I don't think we've really talked about. Segun Toriola did his beat, and some of the other table tennis players. But Aruna Quadri, shout out to you and everything you're doing for the development of the sports in Nigeria. Sports this morning on your award-winning, sports-loving channels, television. Let's go on this quick break. When we come back, there's still so much to talk about. So don't go anywhere. Stay. Welcome back. It's Sports This Morning on Channels Television. We're broadcasting live from our sports center in Lagos, Nigeria. We've been talking about what's going on in our world of sports, particularly the development of table tennis in Nigeria. And one guy who's been a good model for the development of the sport is Quadri Aruna. We caught up with him in his base in Lisbon, Portugal, just to know how he's holding on in this COVID-19 period, and of course his plans for post-COVID-19, and he's doing just fine, getting ready to join a new club, play in the German Bundesliga. Is the highest ranked table tennis league in the world. No, let's say Europe, in Europe. And Aruna Quadri is looking forward to that challenge. Let's put you into that conversation with what you heard Aruna Quadri say, particularly that we shouldn't bother with his ranking. He will qualify for the Olympics. He's ranked second in the world in that Olympics order, and he says, look, no cause for alarm. I'm #2. We're just waiting for the list. When it comes out, I will be part of it. He pulled out of the qualifiers because of injury. We also brought to you that WBC statement from the president saying that Jarrell Miller was not considered for ranking because he did not enroll in the clean boxing program. This guy has been suspended for 3 years now, and it's because he did not enroll. He wasn't available for testing. Remember that time that he failed that drug test and couldn't fight Anthony Joshua, and then they forced Andy Ruiz on us, and Andy Ruiz did what we didn't expect him to do. Let's get that conversation going on Twitter, channels_sports, Facebook channels, IFA Sports Channels, television. We're taking a look at what's going down in our world of sports. Be part of the conversation. Twitter, channels_sports. It should be fun when you get involved. Let's welcome Rotimi Akindele is with us in the studio. Rotimi, it's good to have you on the show.
Good morning, guys. Good to be here.
I don't know if you've been following that conversation with Jarrell Miller. What do you have to say about this? And it's not just about Jarrell also. Top athletes, they are looking for you for testing, and you give us stories. You went down the shop, you were not at home, and then you don't turn up for it. When you get suspended, you start crying.
Yes, it's a normal thing. You need to put up a defense first, and that's what Big Baby, that's what you call him, had done. Well, I don't know the ways he's going to get out of this one, but I don't think he can actually wash himself clean. The suspension has been extended again.
Yeah,
he was supposed to come back and all of that, but it's not going to happen. He needs to work with his team to chart a new course for. New way forward. Really
coming back. If the WBC president was very careful with his words. Didn't want to say no, but those statements look like along the lines of no. But do you see him coming back from all of this?
Yeah, but even if he gets to come back, he needs to work with his team.
Yeah.
To put out the right words, to put out the right reasons why he should be coming back, not come out and keep denying. I didn't take it willingly.
Seriously, blah,
it
blah,
wasn't
blah.
that. I was missing and all of that. You've missed how many years of your career already? So the question is, does he even still want to box?
And when it keeps happening, it means people say it's deliberate.
Of course, it is deliberate. That's what it's showing. So that's why I said, you know, the way these things work, you work with a team. So his team's probably they are not telling him the right things.
Yes.
Like they're not asking him, this is what you should do to come back. You know, and all of that. So it's not, you know, he's a big baby. That's what they call him. Yeah. So he needs some elderly advice,
I think,
to get back into boxing. Really,
I think what these international sporting bodies should do is, let's not be going for just the athletes alone now. Let's go for the team also. You know,
because they do hate some of these things.
Yeah.
And that's why they
help them cover
That's why I
some of
keep
this.
referring to the team. 1, 2, 3% out of that team will keep covering. Oh, tell them this. Say you were say you were this, say you were that. And then each two comes out and just say, oh, I didn't do it deliberately and all of that. No. So if you although the athletes is the priority for the world body,
For the
for the
boxing organization,
anti-doping
yeah.
agency and all of that. But then again, maybe there should be another task force that looks into team, or who makes up your backroom staff.
your
particularly the
activities.
medical team.
Exactly, who
And
makes
so
up your
speaking
backroom
to the
staff.
athletes, go after the medical team, because they're the ones that will tell them, don't go now, because they might still see
Exactly,
one or
because
two
we've
things
seen
and-
cases where most athletes have come out and say, oh, my doctor gave it to me, I didn't know, or my doctor said I should take
Funny
back.
excuses.
Exactly. So
All right. Rotimi, let's flip it and talk about something that a lot of people consider bizarre. That's Deontay Wilder's brother. The words didn't come from Deontay Wilder, but it came from his brother, and it says, look, Tyson Fury tampered with his gloves, and that was why those things happened. Tyson Fury has responded. It's not even the response that we're talking about. It's the WBC president going on the record as saying that all of those comments are just, I don't know the words to use. Sounds foolish. Sounds.
what did he put in the gloves? Blades,
Of
iron.
course, Fury claims his trainer, Wilder's trainer, was around all the time. Officials of WBC.
Yeah,
so how?
you come out to say the injuries that your brother got.
The doctor says it was
couldn't have
consistent,
come
yeah.
from gloves and all. It's just ridiculous. I don't know what to say about
That's
it.
the same word the WBC president used to me.
It's just
Mauricio
ridiculous.
Suleiman says it's ridiculous.
The same way he came out after the fight to say, oh, it was my
costume.
costume.
No, it's not
the
costume,
designer
no.
didn't bring it early and all of
Didn't
that.
test
It was
it.
heavy. And now you're coming up with this. Come on.
We love you, Deontay. We love the fact that you're a champ. But if you fall, the next thing you should do is how to start up again. When Joshua lost to Ruiz, he pushed excuses aside and said,
Exactly.
look, can we go fight again? And won the second fight. Don't be giving us all of... You received good punches. You fell down. Don't...
But I like the question you asked, and
Yeah.
I'm trying to play the devil's advocate. What could have entered into those gloves? I don't know. Could they have laced it with tin iron? I don't know, but But in Fury's response was, my fist could do that. My fist could do that to you anyway.
Maybe we should, the way we are looking at backroom staff, maybe we should also look at the gloves manufacturers. Hey, is it possible for you to inflict some or lace some things in the Emmys words into these gloves and all? Because the damage is now being claimed by the Wilder end is like, oh, this can't come from an ordinary glove. This is not super force.
But why I'm not having it?
It's just weird.
Why I'm not having it, because you also have somebody from the opposition always checking in, especially when you're wearing gloves on it. So Fury says it would mean that maybe your trainer and those people, connived with me to do that to you, because there's no way they will have sided. But it's ridiculous.
Fury should not even say anything about these guys. Because this is heavyweight boxing. We know it's just one punch.
Exactly.
If you blink and it touches you, you are going down. It was just one punch Ruiz dropped on Joshua, and he was on his way back to England.
Maybe the way we do hype Wilder's punch, right? The right hand. Probably we should start looking at it as well. Probably there's some things.
Because if he had won that fight, he wasn't meeting a second-rated boxer in Fury. Fury was undefeated before that fight. Was, to some persons, the favorite, and even said it that he was going to win that fight. He was going to knock
and he did.
you down, and he did. He was a clean.
Even if you loved Wilder, you will agree that the better boxer was Fury, and he showed on the day. All right,
we'll get on with the show. Let's bring it back home before we get into the AFCON proper. Desire Okpara-Nozie, our Super Falcons player, she's been there, done that. I think she comes with a lot of good experience. She's joined Dion. I think that's also good for her career routine.
Good for her career. I like the fact that she's staying in France. I mean, she's been there for years. The first thing she had, of course, with the last team she was, I remember, what's her name? The goalkeeper that just went to Paris FC. Nat Dozier was saying, "Oh, I'm going to miss you, big sister. You're leaving France," but hey, she's no longer leaving France. She's there, and let's see what she brings to this team. Relatively new team, 1998. They have a good track record as well. Don't forget, you can't compare the names in the women's league with that of the French Ligue 1. So if you're not hearing. If you're not hearing Dion doing well in French League, it doesn't mean that women.
Like that with the women.
Exactly. So it's also a good side. Let's see what happens. I was hoping she could break into that PSG team, just because of that constant featuring on the continent, Europe and all. But then again, hey, let's see how she picks up from here. Really.
Let's see how she picks up. That's progress. That's progress.
Good one for her. All right. So, Rotimi, let's address what a lot of people have called the elephant in the room. Let's go at some of the decisions CAF has made. That's got a lot of people talking. So let's talk about it. The postponement or the shift of the Nations Cup from next year to 2022 because of COVID-19. There you have it on your screen. And decisions taken at the CAF executive meeting, one of which is what we've just talked about, the shift in dates, basically of most of the competitions. Now you have one-legged knockout stages in the CAF Champions League. But let me just take your reactions. You also have the 2020 African Women's Championship also cancelled. They're forced into this situation because of COVID-19, and can't really blame them much. For most of the decisions, yes, due to the pandemic. But then again, from the women's angle, I feel it's pretty sad. It's a bad. It leaves a bad taste really in the mouth of Africans, especially female football aficionados. You don't come out. We saw a good contest in Ghana 2018. And then we took that to the World Cup. The World Cup gave women's football a solid standard that has never been met before. So every country is pushing, to build on that World Cup success in France. And that's why even FIFA had to increase from 24 to 32 because of what female football is bringing. And UCAF, knowing the body anyway, it's not like you prioritize female football or women's football on the continent. So it's easier for you to come out and say, oh, we are cancelling. Why? Because you didn't even sort out. Ghana was in 2018. You should have sorted out who's going to host. Let it be a case of, because of the pandemic, we are postponing, but there's a host nation. But you didn't even sort out all of that. And so it's a perfect excuse now. Oh, we have the pandemic, we have financial troubles and all of that. And that's why we can easily say, no Women's Nations Cup on the continent.
So what we should do now, we call CAF, say, come stand in front of us, Ahmad, the president, and take to your executive committee. he should take his hands off his pocket because they are not thinking. If you cancel ALCON and you're introducing the CAF Champions League for women, and we know the financial situation of women's football.
Even you struggle with the men.
If FC Robo Queens, for instance, will struggle to go to Benin to play Edo Queens, you're thinking they will be so financially okay to go play football in Morocco or play in Egypt?
I think CAF has just been I don't want to use the word on my head, but then again, I feel you had a symposium for women some 2-3 years ago. In fact, you had like 2. What did you discuss? Did you discuss cancelling Women's Nations Cup? It's weird, and then you are keeping. You're saying, oh, because they've not even had a chance to play qualifiers, blah blah blah. I think it's just pretty ridiculous from CAF. Whatever you can look at from monies. Do they have monies? Maybe it's because of funds. I don't care. You guys didn't prioritize, or you don't prioritize female football, and that's why we're here. You're talking about CAF Women's Champions League. How many MAs have a functional women's league in Africa? South Africa just started like a year or 2 ago. But how many MAs have that you can say, oh, we have women's league in 10, 20 African countries.
And even those that have their appendages of probably the male.
So what is the Champions League the priority? Or because people have been calling for CAF Women's Champions League,
and then you
guys say 2021, we'll start it. So that, we cancel ALCON, we give you CAF Women's Champions League. It's weird.
All right, the thinking behind it.
Back to some of the decisions taken at that CAF executive meeting. So it will pop up again. We'll just run through it. After consultation with stakeholders and taking into consideration the current global situation, everybody puts everything on COVID-19. It's okay. CAF says that the tournament has been rescheduled for January 2022. It's okay. But they gave the assurance also that no touching of Cameroon, that Cameroon will still host it.
No problem. Cameroon will host. The next tournament is supposed to happen in January 2023. Now, here's what happens. You're hosting in 2020. I mean, you want to go ahead with the tournament in 2022.
Yeah.
There's a World Cup in November, December. Does that mean the 2023 Nations Cup won't hold? Or you probably have to move it in.
You will have to. You will have to.
They kept quiet on that.
Exactly. So
and Cote d'Ivoire, they are like this.
I'm watching. Like,
so what's going on?
So after the World Cup in November, December, we are going to come in January and say we want to host. Like, he tell us, oh, go and play it in summer. Or probably you've changed it. Maybe they've started to change it again from odd numbers
back to the even years.
Back to even years.
Oh, no.
We'll wait for an official confirmation on that as well.
CAF also said that the African Nations Championship, which is known as the CHAN, a competition for home-based players in the continent, will no longer take place this year, but it has now been postponed till January 2021. A lot was said at that meeting. The CAF Champions League and the Total CAF Confederation Cup will resume in September, with a Final Four. Yemi mentioned that to be a Final Four format now, semi-final matches will be played in a single match. Right to me, that actually.
Well, because of the pandemic, no problem.
Yeah.
If you can put them in one venue, location, fine. But then again, you've not even decided where the CAF Champions League Final Four will happen. If you're coming out of that meeting, you should have told us this is where it's happening. The CAF Confederation Cup, you already said it's Morocco. So why not just say? I mean, how many teams do we have in CAF Champions League? Like 4. I think most of them are from North Africa.
Yeah.
So just
easily, you'll have just okay. We'll go to Egypt. We'll go to Tunisia.
Okay.
No, on the Women's Africa Cup of Nations 2020, they said due to the challenging conditions, the 2020 edition of the Women's Africa Cup of Nations has been cancelled.
Why wasn't this stated?
Challenging conditions. But then they went on to say the CAF Women's Champions League will be launched in 2021. I don't know, but CAF needs to come out. On the beach soccer Africa Cup of Nations this year, following the withdrawal of Uganda, a new hosting bid will be launched for the organization of the final tournament either this year. I think they should forget this year and just focus on 2021.
But
it's already looking like a packed calendar for 2021.
2021 is going to explode. I mean, a lot of events will be sacrificed, and there's going to be a lot of I don't know what to say, but we'll see. We'll keep.
I know one interesting thing CAF did from that DISCO meeting. He said the Under-17 Nations Cup.
Yeah.
You fixed the date already. It will happen June or July 2021. So why can't you fix one for the Women's Nations Cup?
I had to go tweet that.
I said, I didn't even see that.
Yeah.
You can pick date for Under-17. You said you have a meeting with zonal coordinators to know how qualifiers will be done and all, and then the Nations Cup will happen in summer of 2021. So what happens to women's football?
There are too many gaps, but trust me, there will be a lot of other postponements and shifts.
Because even if they think it sounds good that we're introducing the CAF Women's Champions League. And we
we're supposed to clap.
I'm in Nigeria and the Super Falcons, they've dominated that championship. Cameroon is beginning to look good at that championship. Ghana, they're looking good.
South Africa showed good promise at the last edition. And that's momentum. You mentioned it that when we went to the World Cup, it showed. You can't just come out and say it's cancelled. So now those teams will go on how many years, Rick? Maybe like 2 years, and then 2023 World Cup in Australia, New Zealand. You start running again. What are Africa's chances? What do we do? How do we get to the second round?
It's sad, but we leave it at that, and we've got to move on the show. We will go on a break any moment soon. But let's take a look at some of the things that happened yesterday, especially in the English Premier League. Manchester United beginning to bring back the smiles on the faces of the fans. There you have it, 3-0 victory for Manchester United. Another good performance from the guys.
I was a bit surprised. This was a team that played 120 minutes on Saturday. Saturday against Norwich in the FA Cup. And you'd have felt they would have come into this game maybe a bit tired, probably try to build themselves into the game and maybe just hedge it by a slim margin. But it looks like their plan was to win it early. 2 quick goals. And then second half as well, another brilliant goal from Fernandes. Sealed it for United. They keep the chase on. That chase for Champions League. It's still between United Wolves because they have same number of points, chasing Chelsea. So all eyes will be on that game later tonight, the London Derby, West Ham, Chelsea. United and Wolves will be hoping that Chelsea drop points.
Okay, since you talked about it, let's quickly look at what's going to happen today in the English Premier League before we go on a break. Rotimi already talked about West Ham, Chelsea. We'll see what happens. Everton, Leicester, Arsenal, Norwich, and Bournemouth, Newcastle. A quick one, a few seconds, your take?
Well, Bournemouth needs to survive. You know, so I'm sure they have to win this game if they hope to stay in the championship in the top flight. Arsenal, Norwich, that should be 3 points on the bag. Norwich doesn't look like they want to put up any fight or any hope of survival, but then they'll fancy their chances. It's Arsenal, so we have a chance. Everton, Leicester, another mid-table clash, really.
Okay, all right, that's it. So we need to go on a break right about now. When we return from that break, we'll listen to Frank Lampard and also the Arsenal manager, Mikel Arteta, and also read some of your tweets. Let's go on that break. We're back for more. Let's quickly go to Spain and touch up with the La Liga. Let's show you some results from yesterday and talk about Barcelona's title hopes. A lot of people are saying it's gradually slipping away from them. You have Mallorca beating Celta Vigo. You have Leganes losing to Sevilla. And the big one yesterday, Barcelona and Atletico Madrid, 2-2. A share of the spoils. Messi scoring his 700th career goal. It was a milestone, but the club didn't do too well with the results, that draw. Rotimi, a quick one. The title hopes, is it dashed or hanging on a thread?
It's hanging on a thread. It's not dashed because you can't really trust Real Madrid, to just coast through the remaining games.
6 games to go. You can't trust them
with six. You can't. You can't trust Real Madrid.
It's pressure on them now.
It's pressure on them because and now they have a derby tonight,
and they know if they win this,
it will still go back to 4. Or I think 4 points.
Yeah.
So. It's still, there's a whole lot to get in 6 games. Madrid still got some tricky ties. If you look at the remaining fixtures, same for Barcelona as well. I did say some weeks ago that Barca it's likely they'll drop points in this particular game. It's happened, but they can make up for that because Madrid also has tricky ties ahead. So it's still very much open. I'm sure within the players they have that belief that they can still get something from this season. But the way they are playing and the vibe in the club, that's where the issue is. Players against
that's where
the
I'm
coaches.
going. Even if they win La Liga, does that change all the things around the dressing room? It's just about them not talking to the manager.
So. Whether they go on to win La Liga or not, I think Setien will have to leave at the end of the season because most of the players are actually against him now. Yeah. So, and that's not good for a big club like Barca.
If you're a leader, no one is following. You're taking a
There's no point really.
Players are getting bigger than managers these days.
Well, we've seen that. That has been happening for
a couple of years now.
Managers
are truly endangered species now. Okay.
Exactly.
All right. Okay, so that's it for the La Liga. There will be matches today. There were also matches in the Italian Serie A. So let's see if we can quickly show you some results from the Serie A as well. Cristiano Ronaldo also on target yesterday. Those are fixtures for today. Bologna up against Cagliari, Inter up against Brescia, Verona up against Parma, Lecce up against Sampdoria, Spal up against AC Milan. Those are today's fixtures. Yeah. Like I told you yesterday, AC Milan, Juventus won, and it looks like they're coasting.
Yeah, it looks like they're coasting, but Lazio is keeping up the pressure. Lazio also, at the weekend, they came back from a goal down. Yesterday, they won 2-1 as well. And then it's still between Lazio and Juventus. Juventus are also watching. If any bleep,
Lazio will catch up.
And Lazio will just catch up on us. And that's the sorry part for Inter Milan. It looks like the Lazio some months ago. But now, even the game against Brescia is now becoming a tough game for Conte.
Okay, all right. So, I think we have a couple of tweets we might take.
Yeah. So you guys have been sending us messages. Keep them coming on Twitter, channels_sports. We've just opened a thread. We're asking you, what do you make of those decisions taken by the Confederation of African Football at that executive meeting? They have moved AFCON to January 2022, cancelled the 2020 edition of the African Women's Cup of Nations, but introduced the CAF Women's Champions League. What do you guys think? Somebody says they're not thinking. No, we didn't say that. They're not thinking. But in the light of everything, we know that it is difficult for the Confederation of African Football. Yes, for women's football, as someone said, they should have done better for women's football.
For women's football.
They should have. Yeah. It's I don't know. We've been, what? It's becoming like an overflogged issue, with CAF especially. A good example, the FA. The FA is just one of the MAs in Europe. It's providing what? The Women's Premier League, giving them £1 million to help start the league. Those are the kind of things you need to inject. You need to consciously inject such cash flow into something you feel is not meeting up, or something you feel has not gotten to the standard where you want it to be. Not cancel, not have meetings, symposiums, video conference. At the end of the day, you're coming up with such a decision. It's really bizarre.
Intelligence here on Twitter says, you have to even go umbok on CAF. That's please in Ibibio. That help me ask them why they did that to women's football. Why not simply reschedule, just like others? I see absolutely no regard to us female football fans. And he says, this is heartbreaking for me. And I feel Rotimi is also a female football fan.
Yes, we all are, actually. We all are.
Pretty sad.
I had to put Rotimi out there. Let's just see some of the headlines on the paper.
All right, so let's just quickly take a look at the paper. I'll start with Complete Sports. We're pressed for time, but we'll see how far we can go. Complete Sports, there you have it. Osimhen arrives in Italy. The Napoli story seems not to be leaving. Maybe I'll just take that one. Other interesting stories, but Napoli all the time.
Yeah, Napoli, AC Milan was mentioned as well. But if you look at the player, the squad now, I think Napoli will fit in more. There's, is it Milica? I think that's his name. Milica now. He's not...
what about Dres Mertens?
Dres Mertens is old. He's getting old.
Okay.
His status, for the guy I mentioned, he's not concluded on extending his contract. So you want a Victor Osimhen who's in fine form.
He's ready to go.
Ready to go. And let's hope Gennaro Gattuso, the coach of Napoli, will use him well.
Yes, and that's what Gernot, the Super Eagles technical advisor, is saying. Front page of the Sporting Life newspaper. If you come to the bottom corner, you see there, Napoli contract, Raw warns Osimhen on bench rule. Says striker must insist on first team shirt or no deal.
Yeah. That's a perfect one. I mean, that's kind of advice a young player like Osimhen, would love to get. And gladly for him, he's coming from his national team manager. He needs to tell them, hey, I'm a hot cake. If you're signing me for as much as 60 million euros, I'm not coming here to sit on the bench. I'm not a young player that is still trying to grow.
There you go.
So there's a whole lot that needs to go in, and I hope he takes the right decision. And hopefully, let's see how fast Victor Osimhen can actually explode in the Serie A.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's about wraps it up for the show. Rotimi Akindele, I want to thank you for your time on the show today.
Yeah, thank you. Forgive Cap. What they did for women.
Always nice. Hopefully, we'll do this some other time.
No problem.
All right. Thank you as well for allowing us to be a part of your day. We totally enjoyed this, and of course, we'll be back here again tomorrow. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Bye now.
That's the show for the team. I'm Austin Okonakpan. In everything you do, remember, let's keep talking sports. Bye for now.